Plenty of news to share with you from the Disneyland Resort, from updates at Avengers Campus, also the reopening of the Disneyland Hotel, and some good news coming from the state from things getting back to normal in mid-June, and also a lot of hope for out-of-state guests being able to return to Disneyland soon. We're going to talk about all of that in today's video. Hey there, my name is Eric D, and on this channel my hope is always to make your next Disney adventure a little bit more magical with tips and tricks, food reviews, and news. So if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. But Disneyland just recently released the official map for Avengers Campus and the Recruits Guide. And so let's talk all about that. And if you have been staying up to date on Avengers Campus news, there isn't much new here, but a few items to call out. As we have known for some time, there are 3 entrances to the land. One off the main performance corridor coming from Buena Vista Street, one coming from Cars Land, and one coming from Hollywood Land. Previously, we have mentioned that Kim Potrock, the president of Disneyland Resort, said that due to physical distancing, they would be using the courtyard outside the Hyperion Theater for additional seating for the PIM test kitchen, and according to the map, that is still the case. If you want to see all the details of the food coming out of the PIM test kitchen, check out my Avengers Campus food overview video. I'll link that in the corner above and in the description below. And also over by the Hyperion Theater, they will have a second Shawarma Palace location. My guess is that this may be a temporary location, just depending on how popular it is, but that seems like a great idea because I'm sure it will be in big demand throughout the summer, so this should help cut down on your wait time. And so I think that's a great thing that they probably should have done something like this for the blue and green milk when Star Wars Galaxy's Edge first opened, so I think this is a great thing they're doing for Avengers Campus. Also in the Recruits Guide it says, catch a glimpse of your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man swinging above the rooftops of Avengers Campus. So that is awesome to know that they have the Stuntronic ready to go. I can't wait to see Spider-Man in action. The Disney Parks blog also announced, and I quote, "When Avengers Campus opens on June 4th, we will be utilizing the virtual queue system for Web Slingers, a Spider-Man adventure. The attraction's virtual queue is only accessible via the Disneyland mobile app, and you may only experience the attraction by joining the virtual queue, similar to Star Wars Rise of the Resistance. Virtual queue enrollment times will be twice daily at 7 a.m. and 12 p.m. Guests may only enter a virtual queue once per day for each attraction, and may not hold a boarding group for Star Wars Rise of the Resistance and Web Slingers, a Spider-Man adventure at the same time. But if, for example, you get in the virtual queue for Rise of the Resistance at 7 a.m. and ride it at 10 a.m., you can still try for the Spider-Man attraction at 12 p.m. if you have a park hopper ticket. With the reduced capacity of the park and with physical distancing, I definitely think that this virtual queue is a great idea. We'll have to see what happens after June 15th to see if Disneyland continues to do this, because I definitely think they'll be able to increase capacity without so many physical distancing rules, being able to have more people inside the building at one time. So we'll have to see if this sticks around, or if, like Rise of the Resistance, this will be something that stays around long term. Also, this past week, there was a little bit of controversy on Disney Twitter, but I think overall this is a great thing that Disney is doing. It's a fun idea, and I think it will be something great for locals and those people who are really into the Spider-Man Web Slingers attraction. And that is, they have special merchandise you can buy that is going to be kind of an added experience to the attraction. So what it is basically a band you can buy, paying additional money for, and that band will give you additional powers in the ride. So you'll be able to swing additional webs, or you can kind of be like Iron Man and shooting, power out your hand that way, or webs that have electricity coming out of them. So this will be an additional cost. It can be an additional way to add fun to the ride if you've been on it a bunch. So it's not something you have to do. It's something that is kind of an added thing for those big time fans. And I think for Disneyland, where lots of times it is a local park, I think this is a great idea because people hit the attractions a ton of times, and you start to see those people who are getting huge high scores on Buzz Lightyear or on Toy Story Midway Mania. So I think this can be a fun way to add something new to the attractions while you can still have a great experience the regular way. And as I was saying on Twitter, some people were being critical for Disney to add this thing where you have to pay to have these additional powers. But I like this tweet from Morgan Lee Richardson. He is a former Imagineer who actually worked on Avengers Campus. He said, "The best possible experience is simply stepping into a super fun adventure with everyone in your family of every age and believing that you helped save the day, regardless of whether or not you strapped on a power-up. Trust me." So once again, I do see the perspective of, oh, Disney's just trying to grab more money with this idea, but I really do think this is a simple way to kind of enhance and add a new level of fun for those super fans who really love Spider-Man or love Avengers, or maybe go to the parks all the time. So I think this can be something that can be an added benefit for those people who go a lot, and for those people who just go once in a while, they don't have to buy this special added bonus. They can still have a great time with the attraction as is. In more good news, the Disneyland Hotel reopens on July 2nd, starting with the Fantasy Tower. So now we'll have all 3 Disneyland hotels open. Yes, they're at a reduced capacity, but it's great that all 3 of them will be reopened again. And now for the good news coming out of the state of California. The state continues to release more information about what the reopening of the state will look like on June 15th. And while Disneyland hasn't made any official statements, it appears the state won't require any capacity limits for theme parks. The state will begin to allow indoor waiting for attractions again, which will be a big difference for attractions like Indiana Jones and Rise of the Resistance and others, so this is really good news. When it comes to physical distancing from the state, no restrictions for attendees, customers, or guests. My guess is Disneyland will still have something in place like Walt Disney World does, but from the state they won't have any official guidelines. And for out-of-state guests and travelers, the state says they should follow CDC recommendations and the CDPH travel advisory, which would allow for out-of-state guests to come, especially all those who have been vaccinated. There's basically no concern for them. So while Disneyland hasn't officially announced this yet, and it would be nice for the state to clarify it a bit more, my guess is after Memorial Day there will be some more information released and Disneyland will make some official announcements on that. But it's looking very good and promising for out-of-state guests to be able to return mid-June. So that is the update for this week. In the comments down below, I would love to hear your thoughts on the new updates for Avengers Campus. What are your thoughts on the new merchandise that you can take into the attraction to enhance the attraction experience? And also, what are your thoughts on kind of the layout of the land now that we have that official map? And also, what are your thoughts on when out-of-state guests will be able to return to Disneyland? Are you thinking June 15th will be the date like I am thinking it is very likely? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, please give a like. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see y'all again real soon. Bye.